today, my very, very first guest actually was the person who actually allowed me to be on her show here on Comcast. So it was just by rite of passage, I guess you could say, that I had to have her give her blessings for my show and have her on my very first one. So today I am welcoming the wonderful Shirley T. Burke of the Esteem Institute.
Thank you, Mita.
Thank you so much. I love it that you came. I'm so happy that you came.
I'm glad that you asked me.
Well, this wouldn't be possible, honestly, if it wasn't for you. And I just want to make sure that you know that and how much I do appreciate you on and off the camera.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
And I'd like for you all to know that when I was up here, Mita was out there helping me. She got here before my guests and welcomed them and got them all set up. That's some of what she does. She does a whole lot more though.
Shirley T is always my #1 fan. She even was my fan when I wasn't my fan. So I really appreciate that. But the nice thing is the tables have turned now.
Yeah, I love it.
I know, right? Are you missing this chair?
No, not much. Because they call me back sometimes. I like it like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, back sometime, yeah.
Well, you always have wonderful shows and you always bring out the best in people. And what I wanted to do today was ask you questions or have you tell us about Shirley T. Because you are always finding out about everyone else.
Yes, I am.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know who Shirley T is, then you have to be living under a rock. Because simply, I consider her my Oprah Winfrey of Richmond, Virginia. And I am so excited that, she inked me in her schedule to be here today. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move this on. You got a lot of exciting things to coming up, but I really want to know what you do. What does your organization do?
Well, the Esteem Institute is about just that major word, esteem. Mm-hmm. In terms of how people feel. I think that the different things that go on in the world, negative things, I think if people knew that they mattered more, they mattered, individual, because I believe in the power of one, we would have the same news, but it wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't be as many bad reports. And that's what the Esteem Institute is all about. Sometimes I bring other people in to help to do some of the programs that we do. But that's majorly what it's all about, is to let people know that they matter.
And Shirley T., how long have you actually been doing this?
All my life, Mina, because I was born to do what I do. I wouldn't volunteer to do this, so I can't help myself. Like I said, when I tried not to, I was puked up on the show by the whale.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I got to use that one later. Let me jot that one down.
A couple of times. And once that happened, you get the message. You understand? I know you understand.
I do.
But I was born to do this.
I know it. It shows. It shows with every fiber of your being. Now, when you go out and you speak to individuals, I know it's always a life-changing event, but some of the organizations you go out to speak to, what are some of your topics? Like, what's some of the things that, I know why you do it, because you're born to do this, but I have been to one of your events where you have just got up to do an intro for somebody, and everybody was like, "Oh, wait a minute, she's sitting down now? Oh, what's going on?"
Go ahead.
So it's kind of like that. But for me, when you're talking to the transformation, and I know that you did a vision board class one time, and it was different. But when you're going out and speaking to these organizations are out there right now, leaders and things like that, and they need you at their events to bring it. So tell me and tell them what you bring to the table, because you have some. I think my favorite one is the Lifesavers, or was it M&Ms?
Oh, M&Ms. Yeah, turning M&Ms into Lifesavers. I love that.
Tell me about some of those programs that you have.
Emotional intelligence is something I do. Emotional intelligence. A lot of people put a lot of credence in the IQ, but organizations now are looking for people with emotional intelligence. And other words for that is common sense. Common sense has been missing in action for a good while. And so we try to bring it back to the different organizations where people know how to get along with people, how to communicate with people. Communications in the workplace now is so different, because this is the first time in history that 4 generations are in the workplace at the same time.
Wow.
And nobody understands anybody. Somebody like to text, somebody like to call on the telephone, somebody else like to send an email, somebody like to walk to your desk and talk to you.
Right.
And and nowadays with the technology, you can't do like walk to your desk all the time. So you have to learn how to communicate different ways.
Right.
But it's the different generations, and it's really tough. The communication is tough. Because what deals with that is when you were born, the decade with which you were born and what's going on, kind of sets a tone for your values and what have you.
So you can go out to corporations and kind of do like a company come together.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I do it for a company out of New York. As a matter of fact, I have gone to Patient First, Verizon, state agencies and stuff like that. I go all over town and out of town too. Warsaw, I'm scared of water. It was 45 minutes on that water meter. Lord have mercy, I had to get hypnotized to go down there. I couldn't handle it.
Well, you should have called me and told me, because I would have definitely given you one of my Shirley T motivational tapes to get you across the bridge.
I don't know what would happen or not. I was scared of that job, but I went down there though. It was an experience, Warsaw.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my area.
Is it?
Yes, Tidewater, Rappahannock. That's Tappahannock. That's where.
I used to go down there quite a bit.
Yeah, they've grown up a lot.
Yes,
and
the doctors were down there. People go away and came back.
Exactly. So it has grown, and and thanks to Facebook and social media, a lot of people that I would normally keep in touch with is so great, because it keeps you in what's going on in the town and things like that. So that's really good. That brings me to another question for you. Is that you say you work with corporate offices, but you can work with individuals as well.
I do individual coaching. I do group coaching. I like group coaching because people think they're the only one, and the art of conversations has been missing since we got this. We got this prayer thing here with texting. We don't talk to each other. Kids sit at the same table and text each other, and that's what they do. But there is an art to conversation, as well as I think it's a spiritual thing when you communicate with each other through speech and sitting there talking to each other.
And how do you feel after you do a session? I'm sure it's
I'm spent because when you interact with people, because we keep it real. I'm known as a keeping it real woman. And we keep it real in these, confidentiality is critical, and I don't have too large groups because introverts, they don't like crowds, and they need some support too. So we keep that in mind when we have sessions. But it's open sessions, and we can say what we want to. I have a specific thing that I lead with, where people write down what some concerns, some deep concerns that they feel so bad about. Because I think women stay with shame, pain, and guilt too long, and we are guilty about things that we have no business being guilty about. But we spend our lives being guilty.
Right.
I put something on Facebook the other week and told a story that a woman told me about her sister and how she'd been carrying something for 50 years and it was totally wrong. But she's been living with it, but we have to speak it out. We have to speak and ask for help with it.
And when you've seen people that you've talked to like 5 years ago, and they come up to you, and I can guarantee that they remember your sessions.
Oh God!
I mean, how does that? I mean, I'm sure that brings a tear to your eye.
I've been crying this week because the young lady that owns Victory Lady, Miss Wendy Campbell, I love her because she's given me so many opportunities and taken me so many places. She put old pictures out there with me teaching. Child, I had my leg up in the air and hands up like this, and people couldn't clap. And people were putting it about. I used to call this my Shirley T therapy.
Now,
and
everyone,
stuff like this.
I want to put Shirley T on a pause here because Shirley T actually was an instructor at Victory Lady.
Yep.
So I am seriously telling you, the energy that this woman has now, she had then.
Go ahead, Nita.
So that's just something to let you know. So she was physically, mentally, and everything else involved with it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm serious, and it was so funny because she doesn't know this, but I actually took one of her classes many, many moons ago. And what was funny to me is that I also had an opportunity. She had an exercising event on Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving Day.
You would not believe the crowd that came out to exercise on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes. For 19 years we did that. For 19 years.
I felt so good when I went and
it was
indulged in Warsaw.
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I'm going to tell you, it was wonderful. exercise is my Prozac.
Right.
I ain't ashamed to say it. And sometimes I need a couple of doses a day.
I totally understand that. I totally understand
Yes,
that.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
But you have, there was another thing that you did that also interests me is that Shirley T is really not telling everything that she does. She's a writer.
Oh,
She's
God, yes.
I mean, because you are actually writing for what magazine?
Women Voices magazine on. It's an online magazine, but what has happened is become syndicated where my stuff is seen in 49 different countries, 149.
So not only, and what are your articles basically about?
Oh, it's about everything. It's about you. The whole thing is you matter, because that's what I end all of my articles with. But it's about things that I experience in life. You know, I wrote about my son drowning, my nephew. I wrote about getting stuck at the toll booth.
I remember that one.
And somebody putting the thing, you know, the thing that you should have on your windshield.
So you're doing real life stories.
Real life stories, and you can open it to any page. I got the book with me. I forgot to put it up here, but I'll bring it up here.
And that's not the only thing Shirley T does. So you're doing classes. You're still exercising.
I'm not exercising now, but I'm working on it.
Okay, and
when you promised me I could do a class. When I get,
oh my gosh, I would definitely sign up for that one. And you're also, aren't you the president of the speakers?
I'm just finishing up. I'm the immediate past president. I was the immediate past. So now, when you're immediate past president, you're still on the board and stuff. So I'm finished up my term. I was the president. I think it was 15 to 17.
Wow.
15 to 16. National Speakers Association, Virginia chapter.
So I mean, okay, you're doing all this stuff.
It is wonderful. What the experience and exposure you get to meeting different people that you see on TV, that write books and stuff, and it's the warmest organization I've been in, except Fab Women that I'm a member of here in town. The National Speakers is wonderful.
Yeah, Fab Women is an excellent organization.
It's different than the other networking groups I've ever been in.
Shauna really has.
Yes, and I don't know how to pronounce
Shauna.
Shauna's
I'm going to have difficulty pronouncing your last name, but I'm going to honestly tell you that if you are listening to the show tonight, I'm going to be actually calling you.
She would love that. She would love it.
I reach out. She goes, "You need to come to one of my shows. I mean, one of the
meetings.
Yeah. And it looks like so much fun. So
she has it in 3 locations now.
Oh wow!
One is over here in West End.
She really took something small and made it into big.
Yes,
so
yes.
that was really nice.
Charlottesville and West End,
wow.
and Midlothian. So it's 3 places we can go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, and there was another thing that you also did. Is it seeming like that I'm really having to tell you a lot about Shirley T, because this is how she is. She's truly. She will talk about, if the tables were turned, she would physically be sitting here talking about me and all my accomplishments.
Yes.
She also took part in a Tell Your Story.
Yeah.
And
storytelling training.
Right.
Yeah.
And Shirley T can really bring you to tears, but I wasn't able to attend that. But I was with Shirley T one day, and she told me a story, and little does she know how it affected me. But basically, she told me a story about being on the bus in Selma.
Yes, Lord, Lord have mercy.
To me, if you ever have the opportunity to actually ever see or talk to Shirley T, I hope you really bring a whole story around that, because it was simply amazing when she did that, because it just brings tears to your eyes. And basically, can you share a little bit?
Selma, Alabama. It all started from, and I've told this story through that special storytelling thing. I have it on my website, and I looked at TV. Crime TV. I like CSIs and stuff like that.
Don't we all?
I look at that stuff, and there's 2 stories have happened that I've gotten involved with from looking at that. And one was Home of the Brave. That was on Crime. It was called Crime TV at the time. Now it's Me TV, I think. And I wrote a letter to people that put that film. It's called Home of the Brave. And it was about the only white woman that was documented as being killed in the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s, 1965. And I was so upset. I was at home by myself, and I was looking at that story. I got so upset because I'd never heard of this woman. People had killed her. She was in Selma tending to children if she needed to, doing anything she was needed to do, but she also took people to the poll to vote. She drove 1,000 miles, Miss Viola Gregg Liuzzo. And I every time I talk about her, this woman gave her life. Somebody took it. She didn't give it. Somebody took it. But she saw the terrible stuff that happened on the Bloody Sunday on the TV, and she couldn't believe that this was her America. She couldn't believe it. And she said, this is everybody's fight. She got in her car, drove 1,000 miles to Selma to do what she could do, because Martin Luther King said on the TV, it's one thing to send your money, but it's another thing to come yourself. This woman went down there. Well, I wrote a letter. When I got through looking at that, I wrote a letter to the people that produced the show. And I got a letter back. But I got it back from her daughters. Because one of the things I said in the letter, that I would like for her children to know that she matters just as much today as she did in 1965. She matters.
Wow.
Girl, it's powerful stuff. There's still blood on the bridge in Selma. You hear what I say?
Yeah.
There's still blood on the bridge.
Yeah, and I remember you saying that, and then that story just touched me a lot. But I really, like I said, you really do need to see Shirley T. She is actually having an event, and that's what I want to talk to you about the event. I have, if you don't have your flyer, I have mine.
Go ahead, Mita, yeah. Yes.
We are also going to have this up on our website. Follow us on social media. Contact me at any time that you need to contact me, because if you need this, I would suggest you actually go there. And in fact, we are going to be handling a raffle to see if we can actually give one of these tickets away.
Oh, awesome.
But I needed to make sure if you had a available space, because I know space is really getting to that point.
Yeah.
But anyway,
We'll
so go ahead.
Space.
Tell me about this. This is shifting your life to peace and joy.
Peace and joy, and I'm all about that. I'm all about that, because if you don't have peace, you can forget it. Say if it interferes with your peace, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. But this is, what will you get? You'll get tools to handle your stinking thinking. And I'm going to add, that means stress. Stress has only been in the dictionary for a few years. Somebody grabbed onto that, just like twerking is in the dictionary now. You know where that came from. So they'll put anything in there. We latch onto it. So I think it's our thinking, because I don't believe in stress. I just think it's our thinking that takes us to that place that we call stress.
I agree.
So this is what we're talking about. We'll give you tools to handle the guilt, shame, and pain that you experience in your daily life. And also, we'll teach you how to handle going down another street when you see crazy coming. That's my first article in my book, girl.
I love that when she said, if you see crazy, cross the street.
Cross the street when you see crazy coming. But this is, we got some specials, and I want people to be helped.
Right.
So if they want some special pricing, they can give us a call. We're trying to say bring three you pay for two and bring three.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice.
We just want to do that.
Well, this is going to be on Friday night,
yes.
And it's going to be June the 2nd, 2017, 11 a.m. You guys, is this two sessions?
2 sessions.
Okay, so you have no excuses. I mean, there's an 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., or there's a 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., and it's at the Aloft Hotel in Short Pump.
Yes.
And this is what, I'm going to read the flyer, because this is exactly what you need to know about this. It says, what you will get, tools to handle your stinking thinking, just like Shirley T said, the guilt, shame, and pain in your daily life, and going down another street when you see crazy coming, just like what she said. Now, here's the thing about this. Now, we all been in a place whereas we done had some stinking thinking. And I'm going to tell you right there, any day in with a Y, sometimes for a moment, that's where I am.
I tell you, girl.
So this is really, really good. But the one thing that I like here, what she says here, she goes, take action to make a shift in your life, and space is limited. Now, I want to make sure that you understand this. Space is limited.
It really is.
Okay?
It really is.
11 a.m. to 3 p.m., 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., June 2nd, 2017. Please, we're going to give details on our website as well as our social media. Please follow us. Shirley T, give us your website.
ShirleyT.com.
Oh, I like
Shirley
that. ShirleyT.com. You know how you know when you arrive is when you go by one name. Oprah, Cher, Shirley T.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
So anyway, I love that you came on here. Thank you for coming for my first show.
Thank you. I love you.
And Shirley T doesn't know that yet, but she got to come close out my first.
Go ahead, girl.
So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Okay.